Back here, in the corner of the fellowship hall, right beside the kitchen and the bookshelves, there's a window. And when you look through the window, you can now see that there's a labyrinth at the corner of Highland and Stirling. Now, labyrinths have a long history, and in many different cultures, you can find labyrinths. In medieval Christianity, they built a good number of labyrinths in cathedrals, and there it became kind of like a pilgrimage, because it was really dangerous to walk the roads. So going somewhere of any distance was hard. But you could go to your cathedral, and there you could walk the labyrinth and have some of the same sort of pause in your life and a chance to reflect. It's easy to mistake a labyrinth for a maze. A maze has tricks and turns and choices to make, sometimes leading to a dead end. A labyrinth is just one long walk. There are no tricks involved. So the focus is on the walk. And it can be just a walk. Or it can be a time to ponder a question. Or it can be a time to leave some things behind and to move on. One way of looking at it is that a labyrinth is a walk in 3 parts. You're going in and leaving some of your cares behind. And then you've got some time in the middle to pause and to think and reflect. And then you're coming out and rejoining the world. There are different ways of experiencing a labyrinth. I remember one time when I ran a labyrinth with one of my children who just needed to get some energy out. Another time, I was in a cathedral in England. And as I walked that labyrinth, I felt like I was walking it with the thousands of people who had walked that labyrinth over the hundreds of years that it had been there. And it was a way of connecting with other people of faith over time. Another time, I was about to walk a labyrinth that was outside, very similar to ours. And a Hindu friend said, "Take off your socks and shoes and try walking it in your bare feet." And it was a wonderful experience because I felt connected to the ground. I could feel the grass, I could feel the earth. And it became a different experience once again. So even with the same labyrinth, each time you come to it slightly differently. I was talking with a friend recently who's a prison chaplain, and he said that once they had painted a labyrinth, a rather large one, on a huge piece of cloth, so that they could roll it up and bring it into the jail and unroll it, and the inmates could walk the labyrinth. But they found that not too many people actually wanted to do that. What they wanted was to take a picture of the labyrinth. And then they could take that back to their cell with them and trace the lines of the labyrinth, nice and slowly, with their finger or maybe with a pencil. And in that way, walk the labyrinth in their minds. And there can be reasons for that. Sometimes you want some privacy in your thoughts. Sometimes the act of physically walking can be a bit of a challenge. So another way of looking at the labyrinth is to do it in your own space and in your own time. It doesn't have to be out there. There are a couple of things that are somewhat unique to our labyrinth. One of which is the noise. We're at a fairly busy intersection here. There's a bus stop right there, and another on the other side of the street. People walk by. And that's kind of like life. Our lives are filled with distractions and stuff going on. And somehow, in the middle of all the stuff, it can help us to try to find some peace. And so, in the middle of all this stuff, we have a labyrinth so people can try to find some peace in the middle of all the noise. Another thing is that this labyrinth is a compass. So when you walk into the labyrinth, you're walking into the sunset, you're walking west. And then you have some time in the labyrinth to ponder things at night. And then, on your way out, you're walking into the sunrise, into the new day, having been refreshed from your experience in the labyrinth. This is a space that is open to anyone. They could be connected with our faith community. They could be just somebody walking by on the street. They could walk the labyrinth. They could sit on the stones, facing the labyrinth and just contemplate things, or facing the traffic and watching the world go by, or just waiting for the bus. They can visit our little library and exchange some books, or take a stuffed animal or maybe some food that's in there. This is a space for everyone.